we are here on an initial permanency hearing. Ms. Schulte is with us for the department. Casa is with us with Ms. Castillo. Ms. Archer is with us representing the child. Ms. Kincaid is with us representing the mother, Ms. Patterson, who I show is incarcerated in Deaf Smith County. And Mr. Adams is with us representing the father, Mr. Meza, who is not with us. Mr. Adams, were you expecting your client?
I have not been able to get in touch with them the last few weeks.
Okay.
So I don't know that he will be here.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Kincaid, was I correct? Is your client still incarcerated?
She is, Your Honor, and we sent the link to the jail this week when we received it. But I haven't seen her, so if she pops up in the waiting room, let us know. But we've been in contact with her this week.
Okay, all right. I'll watch for her. Ms. Schulte, you may proceed.
I would call Paula Mears.
Okay.
How old is Indigo?
She is 10 days from being 6 months old now.
How is she doing?
Oh, she's doing wonderful in placement. She is growing and just meeting her milestones. She's doing very well.
Does she continue to be placed with maternal grandparents?
Yes.
Do we have any medical concerns as to Indigo at this time?
No, the slightest thing, she had some issues with some formula spitting up, but it wasn't anything serious. They found a formula that works well with her. She's gaining weight, so no medical issues.
Is her continued placement with her grandparents in her best interest at this time?
Yes, it is.
What is the current permanency plan in this case?
Reunification as primary, concurrent is relative adoption.
If necessary, is her current placement willing to be long-term?
Yes.
Has Indigo been having visitation? Obviously, her mother has been incarcerated. Has she been having any visitation with her father?
She had one face-to-face visit with Samuel on Labor Day weekend. He and his mother came to Texas and saw Indigo. Other than that, there has been no visitation. It's my understanding he has not even reached out to have any visitations with her.
Has Ms. Patterson been, I think, continuously in the Deaf Smith County Jail since the status hearing?
Since August 16th, yes, she has been in jail this whole time.
Are there any services that she has been able to complete or has completed while she's been in the Deaf Smith County Jail?
She did complete a psychiatric evaluation, and she has read through some parenting information that I have provided. She has stayed, she visits with me weekly. I go see her weekly, and so she's willing to meet with me weekly. But other than that, she's kind of limited on her ability to do services right now.
Do you have any updates on the status of her pending criminal charges?
No, I do not.
Is she still sitting on the interfering with child custody from the incident involving Indigo?
Yes. Regarding Mr. Meza, has he stayed in contact with you? No, I have not spoken to Mr. Meza at all through this case.
To your knowledge, has he engaged in any services?
I have no knowledge of any engagement.
Do you think you have good contact information for him?
I do, because I attempted to call him, and then he did try to call me back on a phone number, and then I tried to call him back after that, and I have not been able to reach him at all. So I used the number he contacted me on.
It's disappointing. At this point, is it contrary to Indigo's well-being to be returned to the care of either of her parents?
Yes, it is.
And do both of her parents at this time present a continuing danger to her?
Yes, they do.
Are you asking the court continue her current placement with her grandparents
Yes, please.
and continue the department as her temporary managing conservator?
Yes, please.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Ms. Mears, I read back over the reasons for removal. What's the basis of the interfering with child custody that Ms. Patterson's looking at?
Miss Patterson actually went to placement, went into the backyard where the grandmother and Indigo were in the backyard. Miss Patterson picked up Indigo and then took off through the back gate. Law enforcement was called. The grandmother chased down Kaylee, Miss Patterson. Law enforcement had to forcefully take the baby out of Miss Patterson's hands. And then she was arrested on 4 or 5 different charges because of that.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And that was after the department had custody of Indigo?
That was after that and after your temporary injunction was put in place.
Okay, all right, thank you. I didn't have that in my notes. Excuse me, Ms. Kincaid, questions?
Thank you, Your Honor. Paula, has Kaylee been, she's been meeting with you weekly, correct?
Correct.
And has she expressed a willingness to work services?
Yes, she has.
In fact, she seems very eager. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, it would be.
And any resources that you have that she could work while in jail, have you provided those to her?
I have.
Okay. Has she expressed an eagerness to have visitations with Indigo once she's released?
Yes, she has.
And would it be appropriate for her to have supervised visitations if she could provide a negative drug screen after she's released?
Yes, if in continued visitation if she maintains sobriety.
Yes. So as long as she's providing negative drug screens and those are supervised, she could be eligible for visitation.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is there any other services or any other things that she can do while she's incarcerated that she hasn't done yet?
She had an opportunity to join a substance and mental health program, but she did not answer the questions willingly. She was not open with her answers, and she became very hostile towards the assessor. And so she was denied access to that program. Hopefully, they can reevaluate after she continues her medications and shows some behavior changes.
Okay. And do you know whether she has an estimated plea date or trial date?
I do not know this answer, no.
Okay. Thank you. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Adams?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Mears, how long have you been the caseworker on this case?
Since the beginning, since removal. So
Okay, so you have had no contact with Mr. Meza since that time?
no, I have not.
Okay, and in your records, he had contact with the investigator prior to you taking over. Is that correct?
It's my understanding, and it's my understanding he was present during the adversary.
Okay, no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Archer?
I have no questions.
All right. All right. Anyone have any follow-up for Ms. Mears?
No, Judge.
All right, Ms. Schulte, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kincaid, witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Adams?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Archer, recommendations?
Yes, I have spoke to the maternal grandmother, and I agree with the what Ms. Maris has stated, that the child's doing fantastic in the current placement. So I would recommend that continue.
Okay, all right, thank you. And Casa, anything to add?
My only addition, I agree with everything Ms. Mears said. The only thing I would add is that I have reservations about even supervised visitation due to Ms. Patterson's previous lack of respect for authority.
Okay, yeah, I think she needs to show us she's willing to get on these services. I agree with you. So we'll deal with that when she's released, if she's released. All right. Okay, then give me just a second here. Let me ask Ms. Mears, was there ever I know we had problems with Ms. Patterson's drug use. Was there ever any concerns that Mr. Meza was using drugs?
Yes, sir. Mr. Meza and Miss Patterson actually met in rehab. So he does have a history of alcoholism and drug use.
Okay, should we get drug tests on him?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Do we have any clue where he's located?
The last I know, it was Colorado. And so I believe his mother lives in California, so he could be anywhere between those states.
Okay.
I'm continuing to track him down. So.
Okay.
And Judge Graham, can I add that whenever we were at the adversary, we all had a breakout room with him, and he gave us his exact contact information. So I will even add that I tried to contact him after that with the information he gave us, and I had no luck either.
Okay. All right. So he's in the wind.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Okay. Then I will continue the department's temporary managing conservator, continue Indigo's current placement. I'll order Mr. Meza to both hair strand and UA drug screen by 4 p.m. on Wednesday, December 13th, 2023. That may just be in the wind if we don't know where he's at, but I'm going to order it anyway. So, okay, we will have our next review hearing on March 29th, 2024. That will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance to see exactly what time that hearing Ms. Schulte is covering for Mr. Albee on behalf of the department. Mr. Ingram's with us representing the child. Mr. Hill is with us representing the father, Mr. O'Quinn. He is not with us. Mr. Hill, were you expecting him?
Yes, Judge. Spoke to him 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. So yes, I was expecting him.
Okay, we'll see if he joins us here in a minute. Mr. Hanker is with us representing a potential intervenor, Ms. Rodriguez, who is also with us. Mr. Jackson's not with us yet either. He represents some other Ms. Morrow, who is not with us. So we'll give these other parties a few minutes. This is my last hearing for this morning, so we'll give them a few minutes to see if they join us, and then we'll proceed with the adversary hearing. While we were gone, Mr. O'Quinn has joined us. So now we have all the parties present. All right, where do we stand? Are we ready to proceed?
Yes, sir. I believe we have an agreement to announce.
Yes, yes,
All right.
Judge.
All right, who wants to announce the agreement?
Go ahead, Megan.
I will, Judge. I believe we have an agreement that the department will be named temporary managing conservator of the child. Parents will be named possessory conservators and will work services to address the reasons for removal. The department has put in a request for supervised visitation for Mr. Hammaker's client, the potential intervener. And we are also, due to the concerns of fentanyl use in this case, requesting that any in-person visitation between parents and the child be after they've provided a clean UA drug screen.
Okay. Give me just a second to keep up with you. Are we asking to order drug tests for the parents today then, obviously?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. All right then, Mr. Jackson, you've heard Ms. Schulte's announcement of the agreement. Is that your client's agreement?
Yes, sir, it is.
Mr. Hill, do you need a breakout room to visit with your client since he was late to the party?
No, sir. I was on the phone with him, and he's good with the agreement as stated.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hamker, you don't really have a dog in the fight yet, but you've heard the agreement. Do you have any objections to what's been?
No, Your Honor, I would, the only thing I had asked the state, so for your information, was I'd asked for them to maybe see if they could get that visitation for the grandmother before Christmas.
Okay. Okay, then, Mr. Ingram, are you in agreement?
Yes, sir, I am. I believe the agreement as stated is in child's best interest.
Okay, thank you. All right, then, give me just a second. I've got a leaf blower right outside. All right, then, I think y'all can hear me. I will approve that agreement. I will name the department temporary managing conservator. I'll name the parents temporary possessory conservators. I will approve the potential intervenors supervised visitation as was announced. I'll order the parents' visitation to begin once they've each provided a negative UA drug screen. I will order both parents. I think I just did. I don't know if I did. Parents are ordered to both hair strand and UA drug screen by 4 p.m. today at Care Express in Amarillo. And that will be the agreement. Mr. Jackson, you weren't with us, but I previously announced, since Ms. Schulte's filling in for Mr. Alvey, we're not going to take up the motion to strike on Mr. Hamker's intervention today. However, I'm going to require that both the department and Mr. Hamker submit briefs on substantial past contact between the potential intervenor and the child. I've stated earlier, you weren't here. The courts of appeals are all over the place on that, especially when you have a child this young that didn't spend that much time. So I'll require the two of them to submit briefs. Any other party that wants to submit a brief can. I won't require it of any of the other parties because the motion to strike was filed by the department. But if you want to submit one, I'll be happy to read it. Once I get those briefs, then we'll schedule a hearing for the motion to strike.
Your Honor, can we ask for those briefs to be due after Christmas?
Sure. Yeah, I'm not going to put anybody on the gun on that. I'm not going to tell you when. I'll just wait until I get the briefs. Then we'll schedule the motion to strike.
All right.
Maybe if we get them in before the status hearing, that's fine. We can take up the motion to strike during the status hearing. But the status hearing will be on January 12th, 2024. That will be by Zoom like today's hearing. So parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance of January 12th to see exactly what time we'll have that hearing. All right, I believe that was our last hearing for the morning, so we will stand in recess. Appreciate y'all working that out today, and everybody have a good weekend.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge.
Thank y'all. Amy, thank you.
Thanks, Judge. I'll see you Monday.
Okay.
Everyone have a Merry Christmas.
You
Same
too.
to you, Bill.